Um, is it time? Okay, I'm waiting for. Is it time? I'm not seeing the usual countdown.
Hello, Samuel. You are muted, so we can't hear you if you're speaking.
Yeah, I was trying to confirm if we're live. Are we live?
Oh, okay. All right then.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello, Amaka, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Samuel.
Okay, are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right. So good day, everyone. Good evening once again. So tune into this evening's class. We'll be giving you a task. We talked about how to move designs from Figma to Framer, and to do it really quick instead of having to recreate everything from scratch on Framer. And this is going to be your task. Your task is to recreate this. You can go over the class from earlier today and figure out how you can recreate this on Framer. So at the end of the day, we should have a live link. So how you could do this is to first click on, like I did earlier today, you select the navigation, click on, go to plugin, search for Framer here, click on Framer, then you copy it. You see it's copying here, that's copied. Come into Framer, you paste it, you go back, do the same thing for the next section, click, allow it to copy. Once it's done copying, to show a pop-up again, then you copy it, then paste it here, just like you did earlier. Then the next will be to grab the last section. So the last section is this. Then you come here, select it again, and paste it right. So now remember what I mentioned earlier. When you have something like this and you're not seeing the content, you change it to layout. You turn the layout on, then whatever is not appearing before would become visible. Then you add the last section, which is the features. Then allow it to load. Once it's fully loaded, you have everything here. So all you need to do now, you just set this to fit content, and oh, this is a replica. We have to delete this. This shouldn't be here. So let's just open this up, delete this. Then let's go back and copy it again. All right, so copy it and paste it here. Exactly. Now, next thing is to rearrange the entire content. So we can select the three of them from here, then set the width to fill, and do any other adjustment that looks fitting for each section. For example, this text, you can select all the individual text by pressing the shift on your keyboard and selecting the text, then set it to fill. And same thing for this one, because it isn't embedded in the frame, you just need to select the container itself, position it in the middle, then drag this in. So I'm literally going to do the assignment here, like I'm already doing, And what you just need to do is to replicate the same thing and share the live link on Discord. So the same thing, you select the heading here and select fill, right? Then that's about it. Next, you just need to add breakpoint. So breakpoint for tablet, breakpoint for phone. Then you make the necessary adjustments. So for example, for these cards on mobile, they would all stack on beneath each other. So you just set the direction from horizontal to vertical. Then you set fill. So select the container and set fill to so that it can spread. So now, okay, now first thing you come here, change this to 16. For paddings, change here to 16 as well, so that it fills the entire space. Then you do the same thing for this one. Select, change to vertical, and voila, you can see it's looking really good now. Then I think that's about it. You just need to change this to fill, and yeah. So next is to select the text, set them to fill as well, and yes, that works nicely. So you can reduce the font size of this to like 24. It can look good. Then you change this to EM, preferably 1.3, and change this to fit content so it can come together. Bring this down to 12, and you can adjust the spacing, bring this down to 8. And yeah, of course, this one you would also need to work on it. So you can use the layer panel to find the text. So you find the text here, then select it, drag it in, reduce the font size to 40, it's 2, then change this to EM as well, then 1.3, then bring it closer, then do the same thing for here, bring it closer, then change it to 14, then EM, then 1.4. You can also make some other adjustment. Like if you notice, there are still containers that are wrapped around it that are outside. So you can drag them in, select the entire container, drag it in, then center it. And yeah, I mean, this looks fairly okay. You can now, one more thing for mobile view, we can't have the buttons this way. We need to make sure that they are they are so you need to move this circle. So this circle was previously here, and because it was here, whenever you try to select this, you're basically clicking on it. So you have to make sure you move it to the bottom. Though this issue came from Figma, the circle was on top of the content instead of beneath. So I'm going to change that before sharing the link with you. So last thing to do is just move this and change the position. So we're going to change this to from the way it is to pointing downwards. So change the direction from sideways to downwards, then horizontal to vertical rather, then fill. After fill, select the individual buttons and spread them. All right. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're using the design system, this might be a bit tricky, but it works the same way. So we just make sure it fills the entire space, and that's about it, right? So very simple. You can just remove this either ways. It also works. All right, so now you could also reduce the font size. Reduce the font size here. Reduce it to somewhere around 16. 16 works well. It's mobile view. 16 works well. And yeah, so this is basically what I wanted to do. So when you're done with creating this, the next thing you need to do is to click the publish. So you can inspect. The next thing you should do is to inspect. So if you notice this one has not been worked on, same thing for this one. You can just come here, change the padding. Remember I used 40 earlier for the tablet, so you can also use 40. Now this is a number I use because I know 40 will look good. You can also play around to find a number that also what looks good. I mean, you could try somewhere around 42, 32, but basically you don't want it to be too close to the edge and you don't want it to be too far inside because it's somewhere in between the tablet, the desktop view, as well as the mobile view. So for the mobile view, we don't have too much space, so you have to make sure the padding, the margin is really close to the edge. But for tablet, there's a bit more space, so you can increase the space. Down for desktop, we have a lot of space, so you can afford to have this much space between the content of the page and the edge of the screen. So now that we've fixed everything, next thing, we can also make some adjustment here as well. If you feel like then there's adjustment that needs to be made, any adjustment you want at all, you can also make this adjustment. And once you're done, you can publish. So now for publishing, for example, this text supposed to look something like this. So we can reduce this to 48 or 40, and yeah, just about that. Then you can publish, right? You can now publish. So you click on publish here. Once you click on publish, it loads. Make sure you name your file, add domain, add custom domain, come here, then give it a name that you prefer. It might not necessarily have to be this. You can use a different name, but I'm going to use this. Just going to come here, paste it in, click on save. So Figma is asking I use a lowercase, so you just make sure that everything's in lowercase. Then, oh, the domain has already been taken, so I'm just going to use double R. Then, I'm going to use double R. Then, yeah. So now, when you click on this link, it's going to open, and we have our simple web page. So this is what I want you to create. If you have any issues, if you have any questions, you can ask and discuss server, and I'll be expecting to see your work. Yeah. Amaka, you there? Sure, the videos are going to be available on Discord server. On the link to be available on Discord server. If you're listening from YouTube, of course, you can also have you would also have access to the videos on YouTube. You can always go back and rewatch. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. Thank you, Samuel.
Welcome.
So yeah, guys, I think we've discussed a message on Discord and we'll pick it up from there. So that will be all for tonight. Thank you, Samuel. Good night, everybody.